So Ash was definitely one of the coolest sci-fi horror movies I've seen in a while. And I think what's even crazier is that it is directed by none other than Flying Lotus. He is a multi-instrumentalist, right? He's got a multitude of albums out and everything. But the fact that he's doing film now is pretty cool. I haven't seen his directorial debut, which was Kuso from back in 2017, but that was a body horror anthology type film, whereas now this is just a straight sci-fi horror movie, and it is absolutely awesome. Excuse me, my voice is so hoarse. I feel like I'm getting better from being under the weather, and or I'm going back down under, but it was absolutely fantastic. And the fact that, again, that he has this knack for just at least enjoying horror movies, it's just, warms my soul. But the movie was absolutely awesome, right? There's an article from the Hollywood News that had a great quote where it was like, Ash is a warmly familiar spin jaunt through intergalactic horror. Ash is an unashamed film by a fan, made for the fans. And it's so true because, again, it's a very straightforward film. The horror aspect was great. The sci-fi element was very intriguing. It had enough backstory and flashbacks and stuff that would happen where you would be able to get the whole picture of everything that was going down. And it was just awesome, right? But so the film follows Isa Gonzalez, who I have to say looks a lot like Ana de Maris. I thought it was Ana de Maris, but they should both be in like some type of action movie together. Like it would be cool. But she plays this character, Rhea. And she has this team of scientists, right? And they're going out to this planet that is supposedly very similar to Earth. It has a very almost compatible atmosphere to ours, and it's somewhere that we could possibly live and terraform and colonize in the future. And there's other ships going to other planets and solar systems to try to find a livable planet, because apparently Earth is like just basically almost destroyed. Wasted its resources, and just now we're looking to the stars to find a new home. And they get to this planet, and as they're studying everything and figuring things out, this entity ends up on board, and it's all through their like equipment and the machinery of the ship. And they're not quite sure what it is, but they're like, well, we know we should study it, and we know we shouldn't leave, and we should try to figure out what this thing is. It almost seems like it's a plant. It doesn't seem like it's a conscious thing. It almost seems like it's a type of plant, and it turns out to not be. But the one thing that this movie does is it does pull from many different films, and it's very easy to see when you see the movie of what it takes from. But one film that it really borrows from is the movie Life. If you've ever seen Life with Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds, that movie was fantastic and very similar to this movie. Almost very similar instances happen where it's a team being attacked by this creature or this entity, and they don't want it to get back to humanity, but there's a very good chance it will, and it could. Calvin, who is the alien in Life, is nothing. He was way more malicious than this entity was, but you're still kind of unsure like what exactly this entity in Ash is. So they end up trying to study this parasite that they see, and it ends up infecting the crew. One by one, everyone that it infects just goes berserk and starts trying to kill people. And it's really messed up because Rhea's like the people. They all try to kill Rhea, and it's outrageous. But it's cool because in some of the scenes, his filming style is awesome. He does this awesome like first person view from the perspective of Rhea getting her ass beat, and it's absolutely crazy. It was awesome. And then it turns out the entity gets into her. And that's when the movie takes place. And that she's got amnesia. She doesn't know even where she is, what planet. She doesn't even know she's not on Earth. She finds the crew dead, unsure what's going on. And then she is visited by this guy named Brian, who is played by Aaron Paul. And he is, up at the command center in space. And he comes down because they sent a distress signal because of that entity that they had found. So he comes and she's trying to, remember what happened. He's like, we just got to get out of here. We got to get back to the station. And as she's having flashbacks of what happened, she now realizes that not only is the entity in her, but that Brian is actually dead already. And that this is a figment of her imagination, of her trying to get through to herself. And I will say it is kind of outrageous because, again, the entity gets into her whole crew and they all either die or they're immediately taken over. But her, maybe because she's the main character and her plot armor is that strong, but she does not get taken over. her will is just too strong. And it's absolutely hilarious, but it's still a fantastic movie. So when she eventually does get the parasite out of her, the parasite ends up getting into Brian's dead body, and totally has an epic The Thing moment, right? Where it just like starts, busting out tendrils, the face splits open, and it's just super gross, and it's absolutely fucking awesome. It just chases her, and then she ends up using this like flamethrower gun thing to burn it, and it's very reminiscent of Dead Space. It's also what this movie is like a bit of Dead Space, a bit of The Thing, a bit of life. It's just absolutely awesome. And considering that so many of these horror movies as of late were just blatantly like either not scary, just not good, predictable, this one had you wondering like what exactly was going to happen, even though it was straightforward and it was very like to the T of a science fiction horror story. But again, Flying Lotus, he's a musician, like, so it's he sees things a little, he perceives and can probably come up with things differently than someone who was just a standard filmmaker. And I mean, because he is a musician, the score of the movie is absolutely fantastic. I mean, oh my gosh, like he is like the electronic synthy score is just so cool. So even if he didn't want to make movies anymore after a while, like, I'm excited to see what he does next. If he didn't, I would really hope that he just scores movies, pulls the Trent Reznor card and just ends up scoring movies for different directors or up and coming indie filmmakers and stuff. But yeah, it would be pretty cool if he did that, and I can't wait to see what he does next. But it was a phenomenal movie. 10 out of 10, space horror. It was awesome. And even the entity itself, as freaky as it was, like I said, it just reminded me of life, reminded me of Calvin. But it is funny that her mind was that strong to where she had the will to like fight this thing when it literally killed the captain, the second in command, all the other scientists. Like, it's just like, damn. But yeah, I definitely suggest you should watch it. Ash, it's awesome. This has been Ghost and Craig. Thank you so much for tuning in. Pardon my voice, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.